Good day, my friends. Welcome to this channel again. And for this video, we will be discussing all about the Microsoft Excel ribbon. So basically, when we say ribbon, this is actually comprised of different tabs, and this is what you saw on the upper part of the Microsoft Excel. So we will be having a discussion regarding the Home tab, Insert tab, Draw tab, Page Layout tab, Formulas tab, Data tab, Review tab, and the View tab in this video. So without further ado, let's start the Microsoft Excel tutorial. Alright, so let's start with the Home tab. The Home tab is actually a most used tab in doing some other stuffs regarding Microsoft Excel. This incorporates all text and cell formatting features such as font and paragraph changes. The Home tab also includes basic spreadsheet formatting elements such as text wrap, merging cells, and cell style. So basically, guys, is as you can see on the Home tab, we have here some of the basics if you are writing, just like almost the same on the Microsoft Word. On this part, we have the font size, the colors of the font, the options if you want the font to be bold, italic, or underlined. We also have here the location or the alignment of the text if you want it to be center aligned, middle aligned, top or bottom, or left, right, or center. So that's actually composed the Home tab. As you can see, we also have here conditional formatting. We also have format as table and the cell styles. So we will be having different tutorial with each of these buttons actually. So for this video, just a quick sum up or quick review on all of the differences between these different tabs on the upper part of MS Excel. Okay, so we also have, by the way, the sort and filter, the find and select. So this is actually the basics or basic content of the Home tab. Okay, so let's now start with the Insert tab. For the Insert tab, this is actually a tab where we can insert a variety of items into a document from pictures, clip art, apps, spark lines, headers, and footers. That's why it is called as Insert tab. Okay, for the Insert tab, we have here a pivot table where our data in this spreadsheet can be summarized using this pivot table. We will be having a different tutorial with that feature of MS Excel. We also have some tables for the formatting of our tables. We can insert pictures, we can insert shapes, different icons. So for the icons, we have different icons loaded through internet if you are currently connected with the web. So here are the icons. By the way, I'm using the latest version of the MS Excel. For the some other older version, as far as I can remember, there's no such thing as icons on those older versions. So here are the icons. Okay, so another feature inside the Insert tab. Let's check other features. So here we have the charts, different charts. So for the recommended tab, as far as I know, this is based on some machine learning and artificial intelligence. Based on your data here, the Microsoft Excel can have their recommended charts. So for now, there are no recommendations since we don't have any data on our spreadsheet, and we don't also have a selected data, of course. So alright, so those are for the charts. We actually have here different charts for columns, different charts for lines, so 3D and 2D. Also for the pie, 2D pie, 3D pie, and even donut. So we have here also the tree map and sunburst. We also have the histogram. Yan, box and whiskers plot. Actually, I'm using these different charts if I am teaching all about statistics. So these are very useful charts actually. So waterfall charts, funnel charts, stock market. So sa stock market charts, we also use these charts sometimes. Surface, radar. So combo, clustered column line chart, clustered column line on secondary axis is top area. Okay, so aside dyan, we also have here maps. So if you will click this maps, actually this will automatically generate a map if you have already your data, and it can be a Philippine map, an Asian map, a European map, a American map. It depends on what map do you need, no? So next, this pivot chart. Actually, this pivot chart is related on this pivot table. It will automatically generate a chart based on the table that you have created. Anyway, again, no, we will be having a different tutorial for that feature of MS Excel. Okay, so for sparklines, we have line, column, and win-loss. And different other features like links, hyperlinks. If you want to insert some links coming from different websites to your spreadsheet, yes, it can be done for this latest version. And text, header, and equation, symbols, etc., etc. So basically, the difference of home tab and insert tab is that the home tab, here we can see the basics of writing or making some data input on our spreadsheet. For the insert tab, this is for the additional functions, like we can now input pictures or any other icons or any other graphs, no? So that's what the insert tab do. Okay, for some other versions of MS Excel, there's actually no draw tab. But for the sake of this video tutorial, we can now discuss this draw tab. Basically, the draw tab is just like the writing feature if you are currently presenting using the Microsoft PowerPoint, if you are familiar. So basically, a draw tab is we can now draw. No, by the term itself, we can now draw. Okay, so let's use now red. Okay, something like that. Next, this one. So different pens, different purpose, of course. Okay, so if you want to add pen, you can add here and choose your color. If you have a trackpad, by the way, you can on this, then you can actually I'll choose red first. Okay, you can on this and you can now write here, no? And if you want to move the location, so you can now also write here. Okay, so that's basically the draw tab, and if we want to erase this writings, yeah. Okay, so almost the same with the writing feature of the Microsoft Excel. That's the draw tab. Okay, so for the page layout tab is actually this actually has commands to modify page such as page margins, orientations, and themes. As you can see, we have here different colors. We have different themes. We can now edit the margin if we want the margin to be normal, wide, or narrow. If we want our spreadsheet to become portrait or landscape, almost the same with the home tab of Microsoft Word, just like the home. But for this page layout, this is more on the perspective is more on the visual layouting of your spreadsheet. Okay, so. And for the size, of course, if you want to print your spreadsheet, you can now set the size of your paper, the background. For the background image, actually you can have the background image, just select your specific image, then it will be the background of your spreadsheet. Yes, it can be done with this page layout. Okay. Now, let's move on to the Formula tab. For the Formula tab, this tab has commands to use when creating formulas. This tab holds an immense function library which can assist when creating any formula or function in your spreadsheet. This way, as you can see here, we have different functions. We can now have the sum, average, count numbers, max, min. So, the recently used formulas. So this is actually based on my workings with MS Excel. This is the recent formulas that I have used, and those formulas are actually divided into several categories. First is the financial. So if you are a financial analyst or if you are an accountant, you can use these different functions. Okay, for next, if you are into something like programming or any other logical functions that you need to insert in your spreadsheet, you can use this logical category here. For the text, here you can also use this different functions regarding text. Anyway, again, we will be having different tutorial, set tutorial for these different functions. So for date and time, for lookup, so here we can use the VLOOKUP, the HLOOKUP, different lookup functions and related functions. For the math and trigonometry, here we can the SOHCAHTOA. Here we can use them. Okay, and more other functions. If you are into statistical analysis, if you are a data scientist or data analyst, you can really use this different formula. If you are an engineer and working with engineering related stuff, you can use this. So cube, so different functions regarding the cube, the informations, if you are an IT or a programmer, compatibility, and any other functions from the web actually. So for the updates on MS Excel with the functions that is not readily installed in your MS Excel, you can insert functions actually from the web. No? So that basically what the formula tab is. So for the other calculations we have here, but as far as I know, this is not that used enough because the spreadsheet serves as the calculator itself. Okay, so next for the data tab. For the data tab, guys, this tab allows you to modify worksheets with large amounts of data by sorting and filtering as well as analyzing and grouping data. So this is, as far as I know, this is more used by data analysts or data scientists if they are really dealing with large amount of data. That's why here we have a database query, the SQL. So if you are fun with SQL, you can use this. If you are into statistics, operations research, this data analysis actually can help you. So here we have the both descriptive and inferential statistics. So we have here ANOVA, correlation, different descriptive statistics such as the measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion and location, exponential smoothing, different charting like histogram. But for the charting, I recommend you use the insert tab for the charting. That is more powerful than this. For the inferential statistics, like this different hypothesis testing using t-test, z-test, regression, ANOVA, no, as already said before. So for the solver, this is actually based on if you are into quantitative science, management science, operations research, you can really use this, the solver function. The analysis tools is actually the analysis toolpack and solver add-in. This is the two already activated in my MS Excel. Okay, so that is for the data tab. Next, we can now proceed with the review tab. Okay, so for the review tab, this tab allows us to revise spelling and grammar issues as well as set up security protections. It provides track changes and notes features, providing the ability to make notes and changes someone's document. Actually, one of my favorite features under this review tab is the protect sheet and protect password. Here, guys, you can actually have your password in every sheet. No, so for this one, if I will be having a password here, just enter your password and verify it on this part, then click OK. Then if someone is trying to open your file, actually, so for example, by default, that person is here on sheet 1. Then before he or she comes on the next sheet, which is the sheet number 2, before he or she see the content of this sheet number 2, he or she is not required to input a password. So basically, if this is not her or his document, that person cannot easily access the contents. So that is for the protect sheet. So again, protect sheet is per sheet, password per sheet, while the difference of protect sheet compared to protect workbook is the password for all the workbook. When we say workbook, that is the all sheets containing into your Microsoft Excel file. No? So again, protect workbook, all sheets, while protect sheet is individual sheets. So basically, that is a password. Okay, so that is my favorite part under this review tab. For the view tab, the last tab that we will be having right now is the stub actually allows us to change the view of your document, including freezing or splitting panes, viewing grid lines, and hide cells. So let's start with the normal. So for the normal view, this is how it looks like. Okay, that's it, normal view. For the page break preview, just click this, and it will be highlighted the cells that already have a content. For example, this part already have content. This will be highlighted, but since we don't have any content right now, all cells are in somehow gray colored. No, so that's for the page break preview. For the page layout, it will show you the layout of spreadsheet if it will be printed. No, so the actual layout or the actual view of your spreadsheet if it printed in paper. So that's the page break. For the custom view, you can actually have different views here. You can customize your viewing experience here. So here, let's back this to normal first. Okay, for the grid lines, if you don't want to have the grid lines, just uncheck this one. But for me, I personally prefer to have grid lines. So for the headings, if you don't want to have headings, but you need actually these headings because that's the cell reference. For example, currently we are in this cell. This cell is called I-15. So this is I-15. Actually, you can also see the cell on this part. Okay, so upper left part. For the formula bar, yan, you can uncheck this one, but I prefer to check it actually. Anyway, so another part of the view tab is the freeze panes, freeze top row, freeze first column. The difference of this, guys, is actually, let's have here different labels first. Okay, so for the freeze first column, the first column will be freeze is if we are, let's try to zoom in rather. If we are freezing the first column, as you can see, so meaning the first column is stuck now. That is actually freeze now. Okay, so for the freeze top row, the whole top row, all of these labels will be freeze. So if we will move the sheets upward, they are now freeze. Okay. So let's unfreeze those panes. And if we want to freeze panes, for example, we are currently here on cell B2 and we want to click this freeze panes. The panes that we will be freeze is the column and the row, first column and the first row panes. So let's try to check. Okay, so as you can see, if we will move the sheets upward, this is now actually freeze. Same with this part. Okay, so this is now actually the first column now is actually freeze. So that's the difference. Okay, so I think that sums up our video for this tutorial video, and I hope you learned something. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for other related contents. Okay.